Alright, it's Bram van Overbeken from Future Car Design. I should be able to. Am I visible? I believe so. There's some updates which I haven't done until yesterday because yesterday I was super tired. But let me take you through it. I'm very excited because there's some evolutions to this design that I never anticipated until things were happening. It's always easier to imagine things when you are with your feet on the ground. Like you try to imagine things as they are, as things are before you start digging or you start doing things. But then as things change, you're like, hey, wait a second, I could do this. And that's very valuable to do that kind of stuff. So let me take you through some of these design changes and show you how they will influence everything else. So let me take you through it. So this is going to be our gate, our pedestrian gate, or how do you call it? Our front gate, bike pedestrian use. It's going to have a bell, and then this is going to be our car gate with parking in this area over here. Water is going to still come in there. It's still going to overflow there. And that will go there for a moment. So basically this I dug by hand. No, it's visible it is. Yes, this I dug by hand. And water very gradually overflows here. And it's able to lose any material, any debris or silt or anything. And then originally it was getting picked up by a ditch going this way. But I don't like it very much. The house is on stilts basically, and I don't like the idea of the ground being wet on this side and dry on the other. It's likely to tilt the house. So basically what I've come up with is that the water still will flow very gently over here, but then it will gather into a stream and it's going to go around that tree on the other side there where you see the straw. Before that it's going to sit, it's going to go around that tree and then gently go towards where that pallet is. Giving it a longer path, which means I believe it's 10 meters longer than it originally was. It was originally 14 meters, now it's 24. And that allows for the water to travel much more slowly because it has a longer path, which is just one of the things that happens in nature naturally. Rivers do that, they push sideways in order to create a longer path for themselves and dissipate the energy laterally, as they say, so left and right, rather than down, which causes erosion. So if you cut a straight path, pop, like this, the water is very likely to start cutting down, basically taking the material from the bottom of the trench. But if you make the path very gentle and sideways, there's a longer run, which means that there's less fall over the length. So from here, where I'm standing, towards where it needs to go, there used to be 14 meters. And now there's 24, which means that there's less fall per meter, about half as much more, or less, sorry. Anyways, let me walk you through it, because it's not exactly obvious right now, perhaps. But basically the water will travel like that, there, and then towards the swill. So all of this is going to get sculpted again. The water will go through here, basically where that green is, and then go towards that blue tube, and then towards that pallet. And then from here we're going to have a nice, pretty overflow system, and the water will go towards the banana swill. And we'll also be able to pick up water from uphill, which is always coming this way. The banana swill is done. I'm very happy. The outside ring, let's call it, it's higher. It's going to be planted with bananas. Inside ring, it's a little bit lower, just to save on moving dirt. I'm very happy with that. Still need to finish grading that a bit, but I've got other priorities right now because, as you'll see in a moment, we've got the mini excavator. Yay! This is the guy we've been waiting for a while. He is Caterpillar. and he helped us do some work these days. Let me continue on towards the main focus of our work today. This is going to be a chicken composting system, inspired by Sean Dabrowski, if I'm saying his name correctly, from Edible Acres. So basically, as you see these stacks of stones here, everywhere where you see a red line, there's going to be a bit of a wall. Not everywhere, perhaps. I have to figure out how we're going to do it exactly. It's not exactly sure. But basically, there's going to be a little wall here, making this whole area a bit prettier as well. We'll be able to stucco it and paint it, whatever we want. And the idea is that basically after these walls are finished, a car can back up against that angled part, unload material into the chicken yard, and then the chickens can scratch through it. And using a hay fork, you can make a pile again over there. New material arrives, but the older material moves on. And then basically you leapfrog it, pop, 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 until you reach the swale edge. There's a bit of a mess going on with, I don't know exactly how the flow will happen in this area, we'll see. But then from over here, we're going to have both the access for the chickens to reach this area, because they of course have to reach it, but also a jumping off point for if you want to put things into the wheelbarrow, as I've shown you here. So either we will be able to move material using some kind of ramp or something and just sort of shove it into wheelbarrows and then take it anywhere we want along the swale. So that means, you know, like if you want some fruit trees to have a nice compost, just load up a wheelbarrow and bring it right to them, because they're mostly on the swale. But if you don't want to do that, there's going to be a bit of a drawbridge that lands right where this red line sits, or something like that, etsy-ketsy. And then basically the same material that we have in the compost bay here can travel either into the duck and chicken yard, or in the future one of the 3 future veggie beds. One will sit like that, and one will sit in the middle, and one will sit at the edge there. Yeah, that's the idea. So basically we can, let's say, open up this first veggie bed, which will reach, 12 meters or 40 meters, I forget which one it is, 21 I think, 21 meters veggie bed. We can open it up to the chickens. Chickens can start to scratch through the old veggies, do whatever they want, enjoy, a good nutritious meal, and then from there they will basically prepare the bed for the next planting. And then we can take the material from the yard, dump it in there, they will spread it out. And then we can either take material from the compost heap and bring it to them, the compost corridor, and bring it to them, or we can bring the compost corridor material into their yard and take the material out of their coop as well, the bedding material, and add that to the mix so that it's nice and dry. What else? Ah yes, the chicken and duck house itself. So imagine this trench over here, it's going to be flat. So there's going to be a bit of a house built up in a long way. In there's going to be water. Basically, we're going to have a concrete basin, like a long bathtub, very straight, very level, with a ramp going up from the bottom towards where the edge of the water is. Feeding will happen over in this area. It's going to be enclosed so we can keep out the rats, which we do have in this area. And then it's going to raise up like 90 centimeters, which is basically my perfect working height. And that's going to be where the chickens and ducks will live. So basically they're going to have a, how do you call that, flat building? No? Apartment building? They're going to be raised up off the ground, which does a few things for them. First of all, they don't like to be in mucky, wet areas. It's very bad for them to have humidity. They shouldn't breathe in ammonia, which happens if you're sitting on top of your poo. So basically the top part of this duck coop, above the water basically, it's going to be nice and dry. We're going to have lots of ventilation. And also I will be able to access it from where the grass is still green on the other side of the trench there. I will be able to walk over there and gather eggs, do whatever I want. I made it specifically so narrow so that I could stand on the other side and reach in towards the back, and all the way to the back of the front of the chicken house, the duck house, and gather eggs, because I know that they like to lay wherever they like. The chicken part, which I believe it's going to be that way, I'm not exactly sure yet how to do all of this, but one half of it is going to sit above the water, and or most of the sorry, it's not exactly done yet in my mind. Anyways, I'm thinking that some part of it is going to sit above the water, and that's also where the chickens will roost, so that when they poop at night, it falls into the water, and then I can pump out the water straight to some fruit trees that I like. Let's say, like I want that pistachio tree to do better, or some olive trees to produce some more olives. I don't have to use a wheelbarrow, nothing. I don't have to do anything. I can basically do a Korean natural farming technique, which is using aerated water and chicken manure to create a kind of really beautiful nitrogen-rich manure-rich soup, which basically I'm going to continuously be creating over in this duck pond. We're going to have a bubbler in there, I think, and then basically I pump it out and the trees get a good feed, and I believe that's going to be like almost as good as you can get. I really don't see how this could be better. I'm very excited to be doing this. Yeah, this wheel over here that I'm standing on is going to be addressed today. Hopefully the run will be addressed today as well. I don't know if we will be able to move this house today, the future playhouse, but we'll see. That's going to be something to answer at another time. This video is getting a bit long, so I'm just going to stop it. And yeah, that's where the bridge starts. I'm excited, and I hope you understood. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and we'll talk about them through the chat or through the comments. Alright? Remember to like, comment and subscribe if you got this far, and we'll talk soon. Ciao, ciao.